This is what happens when a bride knows exactly what she wants. Meet Efwa, the melanin beauty who booked me to get her ready for a traditional wedding and white wedding for 2 days. Efwa was very direct, straight to the point and detailed when it came to the kind of look she wanted. All her inspo videos were consistent with bold, glittery eyes. She wasn't playing safe and I loved her for that. So when she sent the inspo videos and she attached the text message that says, "I want glitter on my eyes," I just smiled because what she wanted was consistent also with the kind of looks I create for traditional wedding. So I got into it. I looked at her pictures that she sent me and I knew her face card was solid. It wasn't going to decline and it never declined, not even once during her prep process. Her eye shape is perfect. She's got a beautiful eye shape that can absolutely rock the kind of glittery eye look that she requested for. And I wanted the eye look to be the moment, like a kind of showstopper that every blink would be a moment for Efwa's traditional wedding look. So I got into it, and then for her skin type, she had oily skin. So that was something I took care of when I was prepping her skin. And then her base work, her melanin skin is so beautiful, and I wanted to maintain it as such. And I did the base work nicely. Went in with concealer to brighten her under eyes. And at this point, I'm just blending that base work together so that her skin will look very beautiful for her wedding. So when I finish off the base, her face is actually beautifully structured. So I'm just going in with a little bit of a low contouring for her face, and then I decided to do that for the nose as well. So when I finished snatching the nose, I went back in to re-emphasize that under eye brightness, and then her base work was done. I used the Charlotte Tilbury spray to spray it down, melt it, then onto setting with the powder. I used the Charlotte Tilbury powder first for her under eyes, then for her entire face, I wanted it to have this flash of color that will be a little bit burgundy. So I used that to give like a bronzer to her face. Then I use it also as blush for the highest points of her cheek. So for the rest of her powder, I use Fenty in 480, a little bit of 460 mixed together, contoured her face a little bit more, and then I powdered her entire face. So for her smile line, that was something I took care of a little bit when I was prepping her skin, but then I went in with a little bit of powder, and I told her under eyes to use a little bit more of brightness. So I did brighten her under eyes, re-emphasize that blush color, and then her powder work was also done. I sprayed it, and then the hairstylist was covering the hairline, and we did it together, and I went back in with the sponge to melt the under eyes as well. Then I did hair baking. So I added a little bit more blush and onto the eyes. So like I said, the eyes were going to be very bold and glittery. So I started with deep browns to just snatch her face a little bit more before I start on the lid, which we're going to focus on. I started with a mineral shade that was a pigment, and I topped it up with a gold bronzy glitter, and then I went in with a Luster Cosmetics flaky bronzer glitters on top, and then it was beautiful. I dusted off the excess from her face. Then I proceeded to add these fluffy lashes that were perfect for Efwa's eye shape. It was so beautiful on her. I went back in to remove the reverse contour from around her chin and then onto the lips. So for her lips, I started with a dark brown liner, deepened it around the top, and then I went in to blend around it. I added a little bit more, and then she was kind of getting tired at this point, which was completely fine because we're coming to the end of her session. I added the first stain, and then the smack did not go as intended, and that was okay. I had to go back in to add that shade back because I wanted to focus that bright shade at the bottom part of her lips while blending a little bit towards the top. So when I did that, I cleaned around it, and then her matte lip was okay. I dusted off excess powder again from her face, did some finishing touches, re-emphasized the bronzer, the blush, and basically just checking her face for anything that needed to be touched up. I did that, touched up a little bit around her hairline, went back in to brighten her under eyes a little bit more blush, and basically adding finishing touches. And I used the Morphe spray to finally melt down the rest of her face whilst we were covering the hairline. And then the hairstylist took off the band. I used the beauty sponge to make sure around the hairline also got the setting spray. We added a clear gloss, and then at this point she was looking absolutely beautiful. Her eyes came out nice. The hairstylist did some hairline definition, and then also did some finishing touches again on Efwa's skin, and then she was looking absolutely beautiful. I did some highlighter for the highest points of her cheeks, and then basically that was it for Efwa. The hairstylist put the earrings on her, and then we came to a close for Efwa. This was Efwa before, and then this was her after. Take a moment and look at those eyes. She looked so beautiful. Her melanin skin was gorgeous and bronzy. The pop from the eyes was everything. The lips were very nice, a little bit subtle, but it wasn't taken away from the eyes. The eyes complemented her kente. I did not focus on the grain, but then the eye look I created was perfect. The pink was the robe, and then her reveal, she was too stunned to speak. She absolutely loved her makeup look, and I'm glad she trusted me to create her bridal makeup look, and the vision we had came to life. This was her sitting with her full kente. She looked so beautiful. The hairstylist came back to do some readjustments to the hair, and everything turned out absolutely beautiful. This is like my third ifwa for the year. I have 3 more ifwas, so I don't know what's happening with ifwa and it does glam, but if you're an ifwa, please send me a message. Let's get the kind of look you wanted for your wedding. I did some touches and pretend shots for the photographers, and then we took more video. I absolutely loved how Ifwa's look came out. Thank you so much, Ifwa, for having me for your traditional wedding. She looked so beautiful, and I love the fact that even the next day when I came back, her family members were still telling me how much she looked beautiful. And most of the times, I want my brides to look very nice and glowy from the entire body, so I added some body butter for Ifwa, and then around her chest, so her skin would look so beautiful and radiant like you see here. She gave us some dance move. Everything was so beautiful. We did this short, and I wanted to show you guys an up close of how her makeup look was. Look at those details, the eyes, the lips, the skin, and this was her in highlight, and a 360 of her full outfit. Her outfit was nice, the hair was also nice. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Ifa, for having me, and I'll see you in her white wedding video. Bye.